Today, we're breaking down what AT&T's latest move may signal about where the telecommunications industry is headed and why the company's investing in infrastructure now may be positioning for the next decade of connectivity.
The dealer download powered by RS&I.
When a company like AT&T raises $6 billion through a bond offering, it naturally draws attention from Wall Street. But behind the financial headlines is a broader story about where the telecommunications industry appears to be heading. AT&T recently announced a $6 billion offering tied to senior unsecured notes as the company continues investing in fiber expansion, wireless infrastructure, and long-term network growth. At nearly the same time, the company released quarterly results that offered a clear look at what appears to be driving that strategy. This is a story about infrastructure, bundled connectivity services, and the growing competition to build long-term customer relationships in an increasingly connected economy. I'm your host, Michael Shiverdecker, and you're watching the Dealer Download, powered by RS&I. Let's take a look at what AT&T's latest moves may signal about the future of connectivity and what authorized dealers should be watching for as the industry continues to evolve. AT&T recently returned to the bond market with a $6 billion offering tied to senior unsecured notes. In simple terms, the company is raising financing for investors while continuing long-term infrastructure investment across its network operations. For companies operating at national scale and telecommunications, financing activities like this is often connected to ongoing infrastructure expansion, network modernization, and long-range growth planning. The timing also stands out because the bond offering arrived alongside AT&T's latest quarterly earnings report. That report showed continued growth in fiber and wireless services while reinforcing the company's focus on bundled customer relationships. One of the more significant details from the earnings report involved customer overlap between internet and wireless services. AT&T reported that a large percentage of households using its internet services also subscribe to AT&T wireless offerings. That matters because it points towards a larger industry trend. Telecommunications companies increasingly appear focused on building connected service ecosystems around the customer relationship, not just selling one service, but combining fiber internet, wireless connectivity, and other long-term services under a single provider relationship. From a business standpoint, that can improve customer retention while creating additional opportunities for bundled offerings. For consumers, it can simplify billing, service management, and support. For the industry, it changes how competition may develop over the next several years. Fiber continues to sit at the center of a long-term telecom expansion strategy. AT&T has continued expanding its fiber footprint while investing heavily in network growth and infrastructure deployment. The company has also pursued acquisitions tied to fiber expansion as providers compete to increase coverage and strengthen long-term customer retention. Fiber remains attractive for several reasons. It supports growing bandwidth demand. It supports higher speed services, and it creates opportunities for additional connected products and services tied to the household. That becomes increasingly important as data consumption continues rising across streaming, remote work, gaming, cloud services, and AI-driven applications. The broader industry appears to be preparing for continued growth in network demand over the coming decade. One of the larger questions behind this story is whether telecommunications competition is shifting away from individual product sales and toward long-term connectivity ecosystems. In other words, for authorized dealers, the focus may no longer be limited to selling internet access or wireless services independently. The larger strategy will involve building long-term customer relationships across multiple connected services. That could include wireless service, fiber internet, business connectivity, smart home technology, security services, and other connected platforms tied to the household or business customer. This approach, it creates a different type of competitive environment. Customer retention becomes increasingly important. Bundled relationships become much more valuable, and providers continue investing in infrastructure designed to support long-term service growth. For authorized dealers working with RS&I, this shift may create important strategic considerations. Dealers positioned across multiple connected service categories may have stronger opportunities to build long-term customer relationships as bundled services continue expanding. That does not necessarily mean every market moves at the same pace, but the broader direction of the industry appears increasingly focused on integrated connectivity solutions rather than isolated product sales. It also reinforces the importance of understanding how customer needs continue evolving across residential and business markets. Consumers are managing more connected devices than ever before. Businesses continue depending on reliable connectivity infrastructure, and providers continue investing in networks designed to support those demands long term. Here's your authorized dealer action plan based on what RS&I is seeing right now. First, pay attention to how providers are positioning bundled services across wireless, fiber, and connected technologies. Second, evaluate where long-term customer relationships may create additional opportunities beyond one-time transactions. Third, continue watching infrastructure expansion trends in your local and regional markets. And finally, stay informed on how major providers are positioning themselves for future network demand and customer retention strategies. AT&T's latest bond offering and quarterly results together may point toward a broader shift already underway across the telecommunications industry. Providers continue investing in network expansion, fiber infrastructure, and bundled connectivity strategies designed around long-term customer relationships. Whether those strategies deliver the long-term results companies expect will play out over the coming years. But one thing appears increasingly clear. The future of connectivity is becoming more integrated, more data-driven, and more central to how consumers and businesses operate every day. And the companies investing in infrastructure today appear to be positioning for that future now. I'm your host, Michael Shiverdecker, and this has been the Dealer Download powered by RS&I. For more industry insights, telecom trends, and opportunities impacting authorized dealers across wireless, fiber, smart home security, and connected services, be sure to visit rsniinc.com.
The Dealer Download powered by RS&I.